Ever been listening to your favorite podcast and think, hey, I want to start my own? Then you need Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First, everyone's favorite word free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Zenni Calloway is a plus-size beauty who hasn't always felt confident in her appearance. She's dealt with years of constant scrutiny under the guise of tough love at the hands of her mother, in addition to being fetishized by men who want nothing more than to indulge in her in private only. Frustrated with dating altogether, Xena has cut herself off from the world of men until a blast from the past shows up with intentions of giving her everything she has been missing. Idris Bailey has always had a soft spot for Zenni Calloway. Spending summers with his grandparents introduced him to the woman he's never been able to let go of since childhood. When he moves back to town to take care of his ailing grandmother, he comes face to face with the plus size beauty that stole his heart all those years ago. Determined not to miss his shot this time, Idris sets out to be everything Miss Zenni never knew she needed. Will Zenni allow herself to be loved the way she deserves? Or has her experiences hardened her heart forever? Okay, let's get started. Um, I didn't know how to start this episode because I'm just like, I'm 0 for 2 in liking the BBW books that I have read. While Kimberly Brown is a great writer, and I did like the progression of the book and how she wrote it, I'm just not a fan of these. I hate myself as a person, or I don't value myself so much until a man comes along and tells me how beautiful I am. I do not like, because it's just like, I don't know it's social media. And also, maybe if you grew up in a small town, um, where big people are just hated and just looked down upon so much, where it's almost ridiculous. But we start this story with a young lady named Zenni Calloway, and that's Zenni. So I'm saying Zenni. Um, she's on a date with this guy, and this is like the third date, but it's always somewhere dark and super late where they're not seen together, like I guess around people that may know either one of them. And so by the end of the night, he's expecting something, and she's like, "Oh, baby, you got me fucked up." And, walks away from him, going to get into her car. But he follows her, and he's like pushing her up against the car, almost forcing himself on her until out of nowhere, Zeni's brother shows up and, beats the guy up and takes her home. And she's like, "You're here with your wife. You guys can continue on with your date. I'm just going to go home." But he doesn't do that. He jumps in the car with her and drives her home in her car while his wife is following behind him in their car. And I can see why it would annoy her. It's like, thank you so much for saving me, but now that you've gotten him away from me, I can see myself home. And her brother is just giving her this big brother pep talk of, you deserve better than that. Don't let anybody, talk to you crazy or treat you any kind of way. You deserve better. And she's like, I know all of this. I didn't need you to tell me any of this, but she's also frustrated at the same time. So when she's in the house, she's just thinking about like how, as a bigger girl, this is what she has to deal with. Either people who want to hide her and nobody know that they're together, or is she's being fetishized, like almost to the point where one guy that she was with, he treated her like as if she was something to be studied, because he would just like pick and probe and just be obsessed with her body. And it was weird. And I'm like, that is weird. You're not gonna treat me like a science project. Um, and then like even if she brought up losing weight, I think he didn't want to hear about it. So it was just weird. And so that's her life. And also she has a terrible mother, because what she has a brother and a sister, an older brother and a younger sister. And her mom loves them because they're skinny and they're married and they've given her grandchildren. So Zenni is the plus size, all alone woman, and it's like, of course you're alone because you're so fat. And she doesn't say it just like that, but it's just like, is that what you're wearing? Are you going to wear that? Are you sure you want to eat that? It's just not appropriate for it. And just constantly picking at her. And the only person that seems to stick up for her is herself and her sister. Like, I should have said the only person outside of herself is her sister. Because it's like she won't let her say too many things to Zenni before she steps in and is like, okay, that is enough. But I think Zenni says like when she was younger, her dad used to say something, but because her mom kept on, at some point he just let it go and let her say whatever. And we pulling over to the side, and we know I cannot stand children, but if I would, you're not talking to my child like that. Ain't no way. I don't care who you, and especially I'm not staying with you. Well, I'm just like, ever since you've had her and y'all raised her, it's like, so you not only let her say these things, but you stay married to her and y'all stay in a relationship together. How is your relationship thriving? Because I would be, I swear, like no attraction, no nothing. I'm like, because you talking to my child like that, saying anything to her is crazy. I'm like, everybody, and he was like, we can go down the history of body type, and now not everybody is meant to be skinny, and like how bodies work, and like people know that, and they still decide to be stupid anyway. And he's just like, whatever. So then we're introduced to Idris, who is like a hardworking young black man, and he gets a call from his dad, and it's about his grandma. So they all meet together at their parents' house because he has like siblings, and it's like grandma needs help ever since she broke her hip last year. Like she can't get around like she used to. Like she could still walk and stand, but not for too long. But before she has to sit down, so somebody needs to go stay with her for like the summer and look after her. So Idris decides to volunteer because I guess like him, like all his family members and stuff, they got stuff that they doing, and so he calls his friend who happens to be Zenni's older brother and tells him like, I'm coming to town for the summer, so I'm gonna see you. We can hang out, and like, how your sister doing? And the brother tells him like, she doing good. She's here, like whatever. And he's like, if you do decide that you want to pursue her, I approve because I know you've liked her ever since we were children. And so he's kind of like, okay, but I ain't coming there for that, but cool. So when Idris gets there, when he sees her, he likes BBW. So he's like, she looks amazing. She looks great. You know, I'm going to pursue her. But because she's dealing with so much BS from everybody, she don't think that he into her like that. Like he not checking for me. He not looking for me. Like none of that. But Idris makes it very clear that he is. But she's also still shy. It's like, no, we're not here for that. We'll do it, whatever. Um, so even at church, which I don't understand, because it's like, but we know how I feel about church and how people lie and all that type of stuff. Because her mama, like, she even shady in the church and say stuff in the church. And I'm like, if you've ever been to a church, that nice nasty was born in the church and how them people act. But they flirting, Idris and what's her name? Zenni. Lord, how I forgot. Uh, like they fighting, and the mama come over and just say something slick. So she like moves herself away from him. Don't say nothing. But then they're invited over for dinner after, and so Zenni goes to change her clothes, more comfortable clothes, because it's like, okay, church is over. I'm about to relax now. And it's like, as soon as she come down the stairs, hear her mama start like, is that really what you wearing? You should not be having that out like that. And it's just like, why do I even come over here? Like, why do I subject myself to this every Sunday when this is all you do? And it's like, for years I have asked you to stop and to leave me alone. I'm just trying to help. Help who? I don't want your fucking help. I don't need your fucking help. I'm fine just the way I am. But you steady just nitpicking and nitpicking and nitpicking. And then when I say something back, like, I can never say anything to you. No, you can't, because you're disrespectful as fuck. And it's like, because I guess you're my mom, I'm just supposed to sit there and take it. And it's like, no. And that's the problem. Like, when people like that, like when they're given a dose of their own medicine, they play the victim so hard, like, how could you say that to me? But you could say all of what you just said to me. And so that's the relationship with them throughout the whole book. It's just like every time she see her daughter, she got something to say, and then Zenni defends herself, and it's just like, you're so sensitive, but you still look terrible in them clothes, though. Which is crazy, because Zenni is like, I guess, a designer, or she owns her own clothing store, and it's like she has clothes for bigger women to make them feel good about themselves. So it's like that's her whole purpose in life. And her mom tells her like, "Oh, you're promoting an unhealthy lifestyle by, having clothes and making them feel like they look good in the clothes and they don't." And it's just like, oh my God. And so, through all of this, while Idris is helping his grandmother, who Zenni is very close with, and he asked her out on a date, and she said yes, but when it came time for the date, it sounded like she was trying to back out. So he put his grandmother on the phone, and they was gonna double date. So she's like, "I know you're not gonna leave us hanging," and she's like, "No, ma'am, not at all." And so this is when Idris finds out that his grandmama got a boyfriend, and he is upset. It was so funny. He's like, "Who is this? Where he going?" And it's like when they kiss, he was he was like, "What is this? When this happened?" And grandma was like, "Boy, find you some business. It's been going on for 2 years." He like, 2 years? You done had a boyfriend for 2 years? I didn't approve of this. And so Zenni is like, what is the problem here? Like, obviously you can see they in love, they real nice to each other. And his problem was, for real, he's only used to seeing her with his grandfather. So seeing her with another man, like, kind of threw him for a loop. And he's like, they getting too fresh over there. So anyway, they go out on this date, and the first date, it's not really good, because he really spending all his time looking at his grandmother and her boyfriend. And he's like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But the next time they go out, which is crazy, it's like they enjoying themselves, they having a good time. But what is it? They got to this restaurant, and like when they sat down, across from them, it's like three women. They, I guess, skinny, quote unquote, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever, whatever. Um, they keep looking at her and they whispering. So, of course, because she's self conscious and had a run in with these girls before, she's ready to go. But you just like, we ain't going nowhere. Like, what's the problem? And she tells him everything, and it's like, I know she's looking at you and she wants you, and he's like, okay, but, and then that's another thing too. It's like, yeah, other people may want your partner, and I'm saying this like even before they officially get together. But if the person is making it clear that they have an interest in you, why are you fighting against it so hard? And that's one thing he had to tell her. Like, I don't care what she want. That don't automatically mean that I'm gonna go to her just because she's showing interest in me. I've been telling you that I like you. I want to get to know you. I want to be with you. So quit telling me about that bitch over there. And then, and he like, we not going nowhere. So sit back and get ready to enjoy yourself, because we gonna eat together. Um, and so the girl comes over to the table and says something like, I see you not eating. You finally decided to take your mom's advice, like all this type of shit. And she don't say nothing, but he just does. And he like, I don't know who the fuck you think you talking to or who you talking about, but you need to back away from this motherfucking table. And please don't think just because your body looks like that you something that I want. You or your friends, y'all need to get the fuck on. And like she walks away just like, how dare you? It's like once again, y'all keep that same energy when it's turned on you. I'm like, y'all so used to being bullies and people just taking shit from y'all. Y'all really don't know how to act. And so after that, like she don't eat, she don't do nothing. But he get his food and he like, well, we gonna eat this together because don't let that bring you down. And even if you do, like I'm still right here with you and we just gonna go through the motions together then I guess because it's not over. Cute Tyler Perry. Cause it ain't half. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Which is funny because it's very much giving the same vibe though. Because it's like even as a which of course Idris is like tall, big, and fine now. Like the kind of big that women like or whatever. Anyway, but he liked her as a kid. He was like a skinny little kid that she really didn't pay too much attention to. But he liked her back then, and now that he's all grown up and came back looking for her, you know, they vibing. And so they growing closer, getting closer together, going on many more dates, just filling each other out. Until like she just has a depression week where it's just like she don't get out of bed, she don't go nowhere, she don't do nothing, she not answering the phone until her younger sister shows up at her house and like lets herself in and it's like oh my bad, that's what it was. It was a big blow up at her mama's house where she finally drew the line. She's like, you're not going to keep talking to me like this. I'm not going to keep coming over here to receive this what is it, like abuse from you, where you just constantly pick at me and pick at me and pick at me, and you just will not leave me alone. So until you can find it in your heart to speak with me with respect and actually treat me like your child, as if you like me or if you love me, communication between us is over. And she turns to her father and says, that goes for you as well, because you just sit by and let her talk to me this way and you won't do or say anything about it. And so when she storms off, when she goes home, she doesn't come out until her younger sister shows up, and Idris is there as well. He's like, I'm right here, I'm not going anywhere. I understand that your relationship with your parents is messed up, but once again, I'm here for you. Stand up and you won't get it together. But the younger sister also tells her, this has gone on long enough between our parents. You need to talk to them and get it together. And because they have been calling to talk to her, but she would not answer their phone, because it's like it's not gonna solve anything. Y'all calling as soon as it happened because y'all haven't learned anything and y'all don't see a problem with what y'all did to me. So she agrees and tells them to come over. And when they come over, the mom is just like, I have always loved you. You're my baby. And it's just like, no, you haven't. And if you did, it was like a twisted sense of love to where you feel like I should be exactly what you want me to be. And that's all it is for me. And it's just like, that's not what it was. And she's like, no, that's not true. And it's like, okay, this conversation can't go nowhere until you acknowledge your wrongdoing, because you're trying to talk your way out of being held accountable for what you did. And the dad is just like, I said something in the past, but I thought you had it under control, so I didn't think I had to say anything anymore. But you're right, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, why would you not think you had to say anything if every time they were together, it turned into an argument about the fact that she just basically kept calling me a fat bitch and telling me I need to go run. I need to go look like all these other girls out here. Then maybe I'll finally get a man and finally give her a grandchild. which is some bullshit. It's just like, girl, who said I even want kids? I don't care nothing about you wanting grandchildren. You've had your children already. You're not gonna force kids on me because you want. Ooh, never mind. I do not like kids because I was finna go off on some children and it ain't even their fault. Um, so they, it's a work in progress because she's like, we're not just jumping back full ahead. We're gonna take it real slow because if I feel like it's falling back into the same routine, it's over. So she agrees. They hug or whatever. So after that, she gets back into her same routine and she plans a trip for Idris and herself. And he can't believe because like she done bought the tickets, she paid for the room. Um, where they went to Miami. I had to think because he's like been traveling before, like out of the country, but he's never been to Miami to like enjoy it and just have like a little vacation. And so he tells her like, this real cute. Thank you, but put that wallet up because you're not spending nothing else for the rest of this trip. I got it. And it's like, just like a man can't take me and spoil nothing like that. So they have a good time. They get it on, and it's great. They enjoy themselves. It brings them even closer together. And at the end, because that's basically what it is, just like, I've always loved you. I love you just for who you are. You sexy to me, whatever, whatever. And they get married. And on the day that they get married, she reveals that she's pregnant. And I was just like, ugh, why? But, happily ever after for them. And our BBW finally gets what she's always wanted, which is to be happy with herself and to have a man. And so we're very happy for her. But I was just like, I just want one book where it's like, yes, I've been fat all my life. Yes, I've had the jokes, but guess what? I love me. I'm a bad bitch, and can't nobody tell me different. Because it's just like anything else. It's just like I hate myself. I don't like what I see in the mirror. I can't wear this. I can't wear this outfit. And I'm just like, please. I just want somebody like, oh, girl, you look tight. It's like, you want my outfit, don't you, girl? Don't worry about it. I'll tell you where you can find like something like have a quick snapback or something. But just letting people talk to y'all crazy and just being down and out until all of a sudden here this man comes that's so desirable to everybody else is almost asinine as to how he could want me. I'm tired of it. Because the two books that I have reviewed, they're both like that. And I'm just like, can we? I need something else. I just want a woman that loves herself, just period. Just loves herself. Period. It's like, yes, it can be centered around the fact that she's big, like, you know what I mean? But like just because you fat don't automatically mean low self-esteem, and I'm tired of it. I'm so tired. But like I said, Kimberly, like as far as writing and how the book was set up, it was great. Like I have no complaints about that whatsoever. And I'm not just putting this just on her. I like I said, I'm 0 for 2 because the other book I read, I didn't like it either. So yeah, anyway, because I just feel like I'm just talking about a whole bunch of nothing. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I hope to see you back next week. Peace and blessings, my beautiful people. Cause boom ba da dum 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 do 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 do.